Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates, like and also share for other members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching or send us your view on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. ABLAKWA has also finally come out to open up on how the government neglects his people. That's the flood victim of his constituency, and how he also appreciates others who came to support him with their widowhood might. He shows very much appreciation towards them, especially John Mahama, Nana, Jane, Opoku Ajumaye, and others. In that much I would like you to join me listening to what he said and how he expressed his feelings towards them. Thank you.
We are exceedingly grateful to Mr. Eric Sedi Kutoche for his big heart. He's a really kind man. God bless him and bless all his colleagues who work at the First Sky Group. So that was delivered in 7 weeks, and we prioritize single mothers because we have a lot of single parents who are trying their best to take care of their kids. We took the view that they, even though everybody displaced is vulnerable, they are more vulnerable. They are carrying an extra burden because you have to manage with your new circumstances, very deplorable. You're living in destitution, but at the same time, you must take care of children, you know, some as young as 3 years, 2 years, some, you know, just few months old. So we prioritize these single mothers. Of course, we couldn't send all of them in if you look at the numbers, but we looked at the most vulnerable. Some had children who were sick, who needed special attention. We looked at all of that. We tried to be very objective, very fair, and quite empirical with the interventions that we make. So the first 300 moved in. Then he has expertise in construction, which we appreciate. We really accept that. There's no qualm about that. So we started receiving cash donations rather. Cash donation. When people saw that we had built, like, okay, this is what we can contribute. So if you are going to build more, use it for it. Or if you have other things to buy. So we decided that, look, these cash donations, why don't we quickly set up a structure, open a disaster fund, and put all those cash donations in there. And that's what we did. So we set up the Accountability Elders Council. And I inaugurated a council in the latter part of October, chaired by Professor Emmanuel Neche Apedo, who is a disaster expert, an illustrious son of the constituency, worked in Denmark for many years. And he chairs the council with selected chiefs across the 6 traditional areas. And they manage the fund. They are signatories to the account. So I'm not a signatory. I cannot access the funds. So I'm only an ambassador who is going around raising the funds and all of that. Then we do a public, you know, event where the donations are received, is documented, and then they lodge into the account. Now, I must emphasize that we then began the construction of this second project, which His Excellency President Mahama came to commission over the weekend.
Okay.
Based on faith, we didn't receive all the funds required.
Faith.
Faith. It was just faith. And here, let me place a lot of emphasis on what Jesus the Christ told us in Matthew 17, I believe, that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. That's our story. That's what happened. So I don't think we didn't have even about 200,000 cedis in the account. When we started, we put the designs together and we just said, look, there's enormous goodwill. At the time, the National Chief Imam was the first person who brought us 70,000 cedis. Okay. That is why we have named a block especially after him, because we were really touched. I mean, look at his age, 104 years. He could have decided to even send someone. He has so many emissaries. I mean, this is a very
He brought it himself.
Iconic. He brought it himself. He came to the Agbetikpo camp. Yes.
Really?
Brought it himself and prayed for. He invited the aged in the camp, had special prayers for them, added relief items. Okay. And then he gave us the cash that if you decide to build or do anything that you will need money, use it for it. So we said that, look, this Chief Imam's example, let's set up structures, open an account, and let's see who else will follow. Then not too long ago, Reverend Sud Anaba brought in 50,000 CDs, and you had Mr. Felix Ado, you had former President Mahama, Professor Nana Jempoko Ajima, and then the Chief Justice called us that the judges and judicial service have also contributed. So if you notice on the building, we have put up a plaque of donors, those who made this project possible, as we put it. So all the cash donations, we put them together. And as I said, we just started based on faith. And here we are. We have delivered an enhanced building. I call it enhanced because this time we have made it disability friendly. Okay. We have added kitchens. We have added storerooms. We have added TV rooms. So you notice that this is an enhanced design from the first one. We've improved the functionality, but still making very good use of the land. So what happens is that the households, a family will have a large room to live in, but then you are guaranteed these facilities that you can share. So a shared kitchen, a shared TV room, shared storeroom. If you have, if you've received a lot of donations from the listeners of Radio Gov't and you now have a bag or two, you have a storeroom that you can keep them. So here we are now. We have delivered this second project for another category of vulnerable people. So we've said that the physically challenged, they get an automatic placement in here. Then we've also said that the aged, because remember that the first one we did, it was just for single mothers. So this time we are considering the aged as well, because we have 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, And,
we met some of them.
Yes, and you could. I mean, it's not fair to anybody. That's not how you want your granny, living. And then a few of the single mothers who we need to mop up, we also are bringing them in. So this afternoon I'll be going to visit them. It's been a few days in the new house. I want to see how they are faring, and just to interact with them and see if everything is working okay, if all the showers are fine, if all the WCs are working as they expect. I mean, if all the fans, the TVs, everything is going well. At least I need to check on that, because since we all left them so we did a commission on Saturday. We went to Hof for an MP's retreat. Then I came back to check up on them on Sunday, but it's been a busy period in Parliament, and so I haven't checked up on them since Sunday. So I want to go back there this afternoon and see how they are faring. But I must, Senna, thank the good people of this country, because I really do not know where we will have been to be very honest with you, if it hadn't been for the benevolence of Ghanaians. And that is why, if you notice, we have even named a number of the facilities in there. For example, the TV room, one of the TV rooms, we named it after Grandma Florence Enin, who had been looking for me for weeks, and finally caught up with me and made a cash donation. Actually, she wrote out a check of 5,500 cedis. We were so touched, and so we've named the TV room after her. We did same for Reverend Isud Anaba as well. And so let me just go through the list very quickly. What we put out on the plaque that you find at the second, what we are calling the Northton MP and Partners Safe Alternative Housing Project. So we have Togbi Kosi Nego the sixth, who the Manklalo of Mapa, who donated the land. We have His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We have the Right Honorable Aban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, who also made a cash donation towards the project. The Right Honorable Edward Doa Jaho, the former speaker. Her Lady Chief Justice Gertrude Arabai Saba Tokonu, the Chief Justice of Ghana. Professor Nana Jenopoku Ajeman, judges and staff of the Judicial Service of Ghana. Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Sharbutu, the National Chief Imam. Togbi Afede, the 14th, the Christian Council of Ghana. Reverend Usudanaba Ministries, Davida Roofing, the Ghanaian staff of the United Nations. And this gesture also touched us very much. I mean, far away in various theaters of conflict, we thought that the UN staff would just be focused on the conflicts that they are trying to resolve. But they had us in mind, and all the Ghanaian staff came together, and they came over, made a donation of about $13,000, which really went a long way to help us finish this project. So I want to salute them. The University of Ghana Business School, very, very generous. They took up our case as a special, case study for the students to go around, raise funds for their corporate social responsibility class. Yes, and I really, really want to thank the lecturers at the University of Ghana Business School and the students for what they did. Then we have lecturers of Ho Technical University who also came over and made a donation into the project. Mr. Eric Sedi Kutoche, the executive chairman of the First Sky Group, donated again. He actually
towards the second
one. Yes, he helped us roof the second unit. We have 2 units or 2 blocks. So the first block, Davida Roofing roofed it for us for free, but they said that that's all they can do. So Mr. Kotochi came in and it helped us with the second roofing. Yes. Then Mr. and Mrs. Ruben Chachu Adoko. Then Goyle, the famous brand Goyle, they came in to help. St. George's Security Services. I've talked about Grandma Florence Enin already, Mr. Felix Ado, Mark Ruben Kuban, Jesse Jacinto, Hanifa Yahya, Mohammed Isa, Mr. Prosper Game, Mr. Nashiruddin Tahir, NDC New Jersey chapter, the Big Brothers of the Electricity Company of Ghana. A very interesting club. I'd never heard about them until
the Big Brothers.
The Big Brothers.
Of the ECG.
Yes, of ECG. Yeah, they came in to donate. I think it was about $300 of cement. They did very well. Mr. Prosper Lechu, Rosa Foundations, the Central Group, Sweat Must Drop Youth Association in Bato. I mean, young men who came together. I salute them. Regulus Investment and Financial Services Limited. Just Wealth Limited, which is a local construction company that executed this. Then the Esbekans Association, which is the Association of Ghanaian Cuban Trained Professionals. Karlovan Foundation. Of course, my dear wife and my humble self, we all contributed. What I did was to raise a facility to deal with the shortfall, hoping that as more donations come in, then we can retire the loan. So it's been very, very great, and we executed this in 7 weeks. 7 weeks. I mean, it tells you that we can resolve our affordable housing challenges as a country. There's no need to have, houses like Saglemi, which were almost completed under President Mahama, allowed to rot almost 8 years now. We have done this in 7 weeks, not 7 years. I'm told that PRT is still ongoing. 2 years now, nothing has been completed over there. So it tells you that if there is the will, there will always be the way. And I want to also salute all the workers. Everything you see there, how beautiful the edifice is. Local workers, local folks from Mafe and Bato, We did it.
Yeah, okay.
We did it. Local folks. And so in the process, we're also creating jobs for young people. I mean, you should see how many masons and carpenters and there were even some students who were on vacation and they said, look, let's just take a break. Of course, we were not paying. I'm told that these days they pay about 150 to 200 cedis per day. But because this was a humanitarian, project, we were paying 120 cedis per day. But the young people were happy to come in, and they also took it as their contribution. So I always say that, look, they have also made a donation, because if they were working on other projects, they would have been paid more.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and they didn't reject the offer. We made it clear from day one that, look, we cannot pay, the very competitive rates out there. But they were happy. So I want to thank my constituents. A lot of the women came in to, feed the workers, to, carry water, to help with food and drinks, and you know how we like our local ABLAKWA and all of that. You should see them on site, doing it as we like it. So it was a very, very, very beautiful experience. And I think that this model really has demonstrated that it works. And so the account is still running. We still have the Accountability Orders Council. And we are hoping that if more donations come in, we will immediately commence a third one, a third project, because we still need the houses. Government had told us, and 2 weeks ago, the regional minister came to see what we are doing, because he said he had heard about a number of my initiatives, and he wanted to really have a tour of it. And I commended him for the effort. So I took him around. He was really impressed with this second project. So I asked him when government was going to start, because you recall in the 2024 budget hearings, an amount of 220 million cedis was put in the budget. But surprisingly, up to now, there have been no actual releases. The regional minister told me that the Minister for Works and Housing sent directors to his office, was it a couple of weeks ago, and they've initiated discussions that they will be coming to start soon. I asked if they had a design. They said not yet, and all of that. So it means things are very, very much in the preparatory stage, which is worrying. I told him that, look, we need to see a certain sense of urgency, because 5 months, I mean, very soon the rains will be upon us. And I really worry anytime I go to bed every night. I mean, this agitates my mind so much. I mean, how are the people going to survive in these tents when the rains come upon us? It's not possible. I mean, they will just be beaten by the rains. So that's why we have been working, expeditiously. And I hope that the good people of Ghana will continue to reach out to us.
So I know certainly do need more.
Yes, we need more houses, and clearly, if we, I mean, can you imagine if we had been waiting for the Akufo-Addo government? Can you just imagine 5 months? We wouldn't have had the Aveime house. We would not have had the MFA house. These 600 people who have been housed as we speak, they will have remained in the tents. Can you believe that? I mean, a country that cannot take care of its marginalized, its vulnerable, who have gone through a humanitarian crisis by no fault of theirs. Look, the VRA has told us that if they didn't spill, the dam will collapse and there will be no electricity. So our people are bearing the brunt so that all of us will have electricity. So industry can thrive, businesses can continue to operate, and we can all, in our domestic settings, have access to electricity. Is this the way we thank them? The people who, no fault of theirs, if not committed any crime, no fault of theirs, they are just bearing the brunt so that all of us will have electricity. And this is how the government responds. And I sit in Parliament, and only yesterday I was making this point on the floor of the House about the Black Stars budget, for example, where they can come up with $8.5 million, the highest ever in our history for the budget. And the minister has been compelled to confirm this yesterday, meaning that all the documents are intercepted, are authentic, are unimpeachable, as I keep saying. And he adds that just for that shambolic first round outing, that calamitous, exit from the group stage. We spent $3 million. That's about 40 million Ghana cedis, if not more, at current exchange. Can you believe that? So an average of $1 million on a match. Because we played only 3 million. Yes. $3 million. That's what the minister told us. Meanwhile, this is a country. Imagine, look, if I had that, we'll solve all the housing crisis. Nobody will be living in a tent.
If you had $3 million.
Oh, yes. Nobody will be living in a tent in my constituency. Really? Oh, yes.
You're saying that if they gave you $3 million,
yes,
you will house everybody that has been displaced.
I'm telling you that.
So what you've done so far with the 2 projects come nothing close in terms of cost to $3 million.
No, nowhere. $1 million now is about what? 12.8 million cedis. Yes. Nowhere near. The first one was just 1.2 million. This one is 2.5 million cedis. So we are not even up to half a million. What, a quarter of a million? Just think about it. Just think about it. The last night I was even reflecting on President Akufo-Addo's cathedral pit, where they've put in $58 million for that pit. If we had that, we can build 288 of the houses that the whole project that President Mahama commissioned on Saturday. 288. So you see how wasteful.
So clearly you can see the money you need.
Yes.
To do this being wasted.
Being wasted. I mean, when you see these figures being mentioned, and yesterday when one of those MPs was trying to, interject and heckle me, I caution him that we'll soon be exposing him because he has business interests in these funds. I know what went into the diversions, for this country to spend so much. So not all of the money went to the footballers. Any wonder that you can't see patriotism on the field, because the players know that some people, in government are just using them to launder money. It's just, they know it's a passion of the nation. Everybody will take their minds off. We're only really interested in goal, so we can all scream goal and all of that. I mean, if you see how much has been spent on the Black Stars over the last 2 years, you'll be shocked. It's more than what goes into so many ministries. Already, I had revealed that before even this AFCON budget of $8.5 million, if you see how much we're spending on even the qualifiers, Ghana, Angola, home and away, cost us 7.4 million. Ghana, Madagascar, 8.3 million cedis. I mean, just think about it and imagine how many of these projects to house 300 people we can construct. This is a country that not too long ago, people were dying at Kolebu because government was struggling to raise 4 million cedis. Not dollars, 4 million cedis. And despite all of these huge sums, before they drew the AFCON budget, they had already blown 27.9 million, including spending 5.3 million lifting supporters. Now, when you consider the fact that despite all of this, look at the state of our football infrastructure. You can't find any stadium anywhere that meets FIFA standards. There's no sports policy. So it's clear that all of these fantastic sums are not even going to the right places. The money is just evaporating. Some people somewhere only know what they are doing with the monies. So our country, the point must be made that it's not for lack of money. When we see these disasters and our people are suffering and in so much pain, it's not because there is no money. Because if in the same period, look, another disaster occurred long before they had to draw this budget and go to, because this is January this year.
Yes.
This disaster, the VRA opened the floodgates on the 15th of September, 2023. And if you have a president who says that, look, despite the contingency fund, where money is approved every year in Parliament, and I know as MP, 2023, we approved 533 million in the contingency fund, which could have been used for this disaster, because contingency is for emergencies. not for the National Cathedral project. So how come that when you have the real emergency, you can find money to take care of the people, and yet in the same period, you are able to blow all of these monies? And you see, let's put these fantastic sums we are hearing in proper context. You know, these $3 million that Ghana has spent on just the group stage. Do you know it's more than the entire budget for a lot of the countries who all did better than us? Namibia, they did far better than us. Their budget is $1.1 million
Total.
for the total. If they had gone all the way to the finals, yes, that's their budget.
1.1 million.
Yes, Zambia, if they had gone all the way to the finals, their budget is $2.3 million. That's what they presented to their parliament, approved. Go on the internet, check Zambian news, Zambian publications. It's there. $2.3 million. $2.1 million. Pardon me, I have even increased it. $2.1 million. Nigeria, what their government contributed, gave to the FA, taxpayers' money, $1.3 million. That's a fact. Nobody can challenge that.
And that's all they needed to go all the way to
All
the
the way to the finals. They were in the finals. Almost won the trophy.
I see.
And we $3 million. I mean, incredible. You know, so when you see this and your heart boils, you go to the constitution and you see how people are living. You know, you see people in their 80s, their 90s. No fault of theirs. They committed no crime. And they were not homeless people. They had their own homes. Okay. They had their own homes. They had their own homes. And perhaps the only reason they are being abandoned and neglected is because of their voting pattern. The president came and told us that you people, if it wasn't really something, I won't be here because you don't vote for me. That's what the president told us when he came there. I couldn't believe my ears. You know, so look, my brother, the time has come for us to tell these heartless, clueless, visionless, lack of priority group that look, it is not reshuffles, these musical chairs that we need. The entire government from Akufo-Addo have to be reshuffled out. That's really what will save us.
The entire government.
The entire government. All of them must be given the boot. They must be kicked out. That's why yesterday I posted a look. These musical chairs. It's much ado about nothing. And nothing will change. Nothing will change. I don't know why there is such a discussion. This is just a needless diversion. Needless diversion. All they claim that, major, massive reshuffle, kind of Friata finally goes. The president has finally listened. You see his new appointment. I mean, when people were saying that, the president has finally listened, I'm sure that the family was having a laugh, you know, over champagne. You know, the Gabi, I could picture Gabi, Akufo-Addo, Friata. I don't know if they were changing the kitchen cabinet, you know. And they were just having a laugh. Look at, we put the first one on them and they think that this is such a major reshuffle. They don't know what we have planned for. Because really, Ken is still in charge. He now even has the president here in closer proximity. Closer proximity. He is going to call all the shots. And I pity Mohammed Amin Adam. I pity him. Because he has no final say. So this is just some Chinese promotion that Mohammed Amin Adam, what they really call Chinese promotion, you know,
what is the Chinese?
Chinese promotion is just for the optics, but in terms of real power, you have none. You don't have any power.
Let me then go back to the constituency. So now, at this point, how many people have been housed in these two projects, and how many more do you need to house?
So we have housed 600, so 300 for the first one, 300 for this second project.
Okay.
And that means that if you look at the latest situation, the people living in the various displaced camps across the constituency, we need to critically house about 2,500 more.
Okay.
About 2,500. Because for the others, we were able to help them salvage those whose buildings survived. So they needed some fumigation, needed some renovations. So we've been able to help some of those, and they have returned to their homes. But those who suffered the total damage and have nowhere to go, no relatives to go and depend on, and are putting up in the tents, about 2,500 and that's a really conservative estimate.
Still, or you have to now take out the 600.
No, still. So it means that we should be building for about 3,100 people. Yeah.
You still have 2,000, about 2,000.
Yes, still about 2,500 people to take care of. Yeah. We asked the assemblymen to put the latest data together, and that's what they are reporting. And you see them, You should come with me to Mapedagoma. The journalists who came to the constituency over the weekend, how we did the program was that we asked them to come early so that they can go to the camps and see, so they can have a full appreciation of what's happening, so that you see the before and after, where they are living and how they will be moving to the new camp. And I mean, a lot of them were shocked. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos, some of the footage. Yeah, the people are living in tents. They're there. I mean, you can't make these things up. You can't make it up. You come at night, you see them sleeping at tents, sleeping in the tents at night. I mean, in the morning, I have been there with them. We've cooked banku together. You saw my photos. Sometimes I join them inside the tents. That's where they live. They have nowhere to go to. I mean, that's our reality. And to think that since the president visited us at the peak of the disaster, because of the public outcry, remember the Ghanaians were really up in arms, that he's quick to comment on international disasters, international issues. Even when recently the King of England, it was reported that he's going to hospital. The Ghanaian president was the first world leader to send him best wishes, just because the king is going to the hospital. But here you are, your own constituents, your own citizens, who have been living in tents for 5 months. He's not come to visit. He's not come to check us out, to see for himself what is happening. Because yes, you came earlier.
The finance minister was also there. In fact, his coming even coincided with our coming there.
Yes.
So we witnessed it ourselves.
But that was a long time ago. That was early October.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm wondering why.
But if I'm talking about current visit, if probably you are thinking that, the water levels have receded, so the people probably are all sorted out now. Come now and come and see.
And that's the
you see,
question.
and you see, what kind of country is this that 5 months we can't house the vulnerable, people who have suffered a disaster? 5 months. What does that say about our leadership, our governance architecture? If for 5 months, I mean, so is this country worth dying for? Should people be patriotic? Should people keep paying their taxes? Look, I keep saying that what drives me to serve my people and do what I do, I ask myself, when is voting day? I am in a very difficult terrain. I have islands, I've had to reach communities. North Town is vast. There's so many. There are places that you have to go by motorbike. You can't drive there. Places you have to go by boat. Island communities. Yet see how efficient we are on voting day. We are able to send the ballot paper to all these people in record time.
Yeah, that's true.
Before 7 a.m. All this village, no matter how tough it is. Why is it that when it comes to sharing the national cake, we are not this efficient? We come up with all kinds of excuses. How? I mean, just imagine the uproar, the tension. There will even be potential conflict if on voting day they say it's 9 a.m., it's 10 a.m., and a village somewhere, no matter how difficult it is to get there, they haven't received their ballot papers. We are able to even send helicopters to retrieve ballot boxes after voting for counting to be done in good time. Why can't we share national resources like that? See how taxes. Anytime I sit in parliament and these finance ministers come with their new tax handles, it is all about how can we make sure that the people don't evade? How can we make sure there is such an efficient tax so that everybody will pay, no matter where you are, what you are buying? They find a clever way of making sure that you are all roped in. Why can't we share the national cake like that? Why can't our interventions, our policies, be the same way we share ballot papers, the same way we impose taxes? Why can't it be the same? When we want to collect money from the people, when we want the people's votes, see our efficiency. Remarkable efficiency. Everybody gets one. One man, one vote. Everybody is served. We can't bring that same mindset, that same attitude, that same philosophy when it comes to sharing the national cake. So why should Black Stars get all of this? And then my people, and all those who were displaced, according to NADMO, 40,000 people. As we speak, government hasn't housed one, not one, like let's say hen coop. Not one.
Not a single place.
Not a single room. Let's just say single room. Government has come to build some single room somewhere. Not one. No compensation. I haven't even talked about compensation this morning. Because as of right, the people are entitled to compensation. They've lost their farms, lost their cattle, their livestock. They have lost their fish cages. They have lost all properties. Lost everything. So as for compensation, we haven't even started that discussion. Housing, more than 5 months, people can be housed. I mean, what is wrong with the president that we have? Meanwhile, you took an oath of office that you will be fair to all manner of persons. Let's go back to the Constitution. Go back to the schedule on oaths and read that oath of office. See what it requires of the president and the vice president. That you will be fair to all manner of persons. What conscience does President Akufo-Addo go to bed with every night? Is he able to sleep? What does the First Lady tell him as they go to bed? And see thousands of citizens live in tents under such deplorable conditions, in abject destitution, like refugees. Refugees. Look, when I see the footage from Gaza, it's not different. Those who are living in Rafah, the tents in Rafah, in Gaza, on the Gaza Strip, there's no difference. There's no difference. And see how the international community is clamoring to go and help the people living in tents in Gaza. Those living in tents in Mefe, in Agbetipo, in Dofwadidoma, in Fojoku, in Glonu, in Alabonu. Are they not human beings? Are they not Ghanaians? And our president is they're cool. It's as if there's nothing happening. This is despicable. It's a shame. And at the same time, see the things they find money for. See the things they find money for. So I commend the sports journalists who led that demonstration yesterday. I salute them. I mean, hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis. We can look totally end the trauma that our fellow Ghanaians are going through. It will just wipe their tears. They'll get decent homes, and they are not asking for much. See how happy they are. We put them just in a big single room. That's all. And they are so happy. Nobody has said we won't go. That is not nice enough. They are more than happy. They are happy to share kitchens, happy to share TV rooms, happy to share washrooms, because it's far better than the tents. And it's not as though, these are some people who you say they brought this upon themselves. No. Look, we are even saying we are going to have a probe into the spillage, because from 1968 to 2010, we have seen spillage after spillage. It's never been this devastating. It's done gradually. It's well programmed. How come this time, only 2023? Who are those who were so negligent, who waited to the last minute, and then just without notice, full blast? So if you look at all the conditions and the fact that these people are bearing the brunt, so all of us who have electricity, don't we deserve some special mercy? This is what I was saying at the commissioning, that I would have thought that if at least this once, even if we couldn't do it for the people of Apiati, and 2 years down the lane they are waiting, at least if you look at all the circumstances this time round, we will say that, look, let us prove to the citizens that government can care, government can prioritize, government can watch out for the needy. And when you read our constitution, the directive principle of state policy is very clear that, look, all our economic management, everything we do in the name of economic policies, the vulnerable must be at the center. Those who are the most distressed amongst us must be prioritized. So what is happening? What kind of country is this? What kind of president do we have? And I am totally appalled. I am on all fours with former President Mahama when he said that, look, he's been president before. This level of neglect, this level of abandonment is unacceptable, and that the government should wake up from their slumber. I commend former President Mahama for those words. I mean, why should it take individual? Look, it should have been that we who don't receive taxes, we are just playing a complementary role. That's how we should have been, that we are just supporting. But rather, it's become, we are. It's as if I am the VRA boss. I open the floodgates. Where is VRA in this matter?
Have you? And I was coming to that. Have you not heard from them at all?
No.
Not a single word.
It was at Christmas that my DC called me that they are bringing some relief items and they are pleading that I should be there because I've been on a warpath, that they want me to be. I said I will not be there.
Relief items at Christmas when we were looking for money to do.
And I said, look, this is not what we want. Ghanaians have brought us enough relief items. The trauma, the destruction you have caused, we are not looking for milk and sugar. That's not what you should be bringing. What is the plan for resettlement? What is the package for compensation? That's what you should be addressing. As we speak, the VRA is nowhere to be found. They can't be bothered. Why should we be subjected to this? Why?
But I also want to find out. You said, because when we came, we're surprised that like a whole community, well-developed community, was subsumed by water.
Yeah.
You say the water there has dried up.
Yes.
So water around all those areas are
yes, fortunately, thanks to the dredging that engineers and planners, helped us to do, the water has dried up. But you see, as the water has receded, what that means is that some lucky people have been able to, renovate their homes to go back. Okay. But as the water levels rose to that point and houses were submerged, not all buildings had the integrity, the stamina to survive.
Okay.
A lot of them just crumbled.
Okay.
And it is those homeowners who are living in tents as we speak.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter that the water levels have receded.
They can't go back to
They
that.
can go back to their homes. And you see, when the water levels also rose to that point, it damaged a lot of things, weakened a lot of structures. You heard recently about the bridge that collapsed. That bridge was one of the bridges that got submerged. And will you believe that up to now, it's almost a month,
You haven't heard anything.
they
right?
haven't even come to fix the bridge. So you can't use the Joapon, the road that President Mahama constructed for us, the Joapon Volo, Adidoma Road. You can't use that road to Adidoma. We've been cut off from Central Town, from South Town, and other parts, if you want to go to the Aflao Enclave and all of that. Unless you go through the Dadoma village, which many people don't know, is quite a meandering road, It can't be bothered. We have just an inept, very derelict government. And it's as though they don't consider some people to be part of Ghana, as if we don't pay taxes.
So
And I wonder how they are going to really campaign this year. Would they really come to the Volta region to campaign? I've been wondering. I've been asking myself, would they come to North Town? What would be their campaign message after what they've done to us over the last 6 months? What are they going to tell us?
as member of parliament, you are a member also of the assembly.
Yes.
So I'm guessing constant conversations with the DC is part of some of the things you do. What does the DC tell you if you speak to them? Because ultimately he is the one who is between the people and then the central government.
To be honest with you, sometimes I pity them. I pity all these, appointees in the region. I pity the regional minister. I pity the DC, because they are serving a government that has left them very embarrassed. They've lost credibility amongst the people. Will you believe if I told you that the interministerial committee that the president set up, they haven't paid a single visit? They haven't come to the grounds.
The interministerial
Incredible. Yeah. They haven't even come to sit down with the DC, the MP, the chiefs. And at the commissioning, all the chiefs said it. Go back to the footage. The Manklalu of Mapua said that, look, they have been calling the interministerial committee. They haven't honored the invitation. The president of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs said they invited VRA for a briefing. Up to now, VRA hasn't showed up. President of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, the Regional House of Chiefs, inviting the VRA. And he asked, would they dare do that in some other jurisdiction? Total disregard and disrespect for our chiefs, the custodians of our traditions and our culture and customs. Unbelievable.
So if you had not taken these initiatives, acted on faith with the support of your people, you wouldn't even be able to house a single person at this time.
Not one. Everybody will have been.
And then we haven't even gotten to the part where these people that have been displaced have to eat daily.
Yes.
They have to drink water.
Yeah.
They have to be clothed.
Yeah.
In fact, the education of their children have to be catered for.
Yeah.
All of those, you're not receiving any central government help to do that.
Not one. And perhaps it's about time to activate our class action, because we did serve notice some weeks ago that if the government dereliction, the government negligence continues, we will be forced to bring class action and through the courts compel the government to wake up to its obligations. At this point, the way I see things, that may be our last resort. Because what haven't I done in Parliament? You've heard me screaming and, yelling and made statements, filed questions, filed motions.
Have you found Parliament, the platform of Parliament, inefficient in this fight? Because you are a member of Parliament. The only platform you do have really is Parliament.
That's true.
has it really helped you in any way? Because right now, people sometimes watch you and are wondering, how are you able to do this? Because there are other places where other people have been affected where they've not been able to do things like this. Has Parliament as a platform been helpful to you in any way?
I think to some extent, because at least Parliament helped us in the early days to hold the Minister for Energy. We also hold the Minister for Education to tell us what the plans are, even though they've all done nothing since then. All the assurances they gave us have not been met. Will you believe that I am the one painting St. Kizito Secondary School?
Yourself?
Yes. Yes. I'm funding it, despite the Minister of Education's assurances. I mean, we had to take care of the vulnerable students in the camps. We provided scholarships for them to go back to school. We did it, not government. MP's office and friends. We, teachers who fled, who left the district, we have had to pay their 6 months rent. 167 teachers, not government. Not government. All the assurance. So Parliament has helped us to hold them, to summon them.
But the action is
But then, can Parliament, police then get into their offices, force them to release funds and go and keep to their promise? What we can do probably is to then call them back, that these promises you made, why haven't you fulfilled them? But you see, it will be a lot of work, a lot of time and all of that. That is why I decided that, look, I'm not going to put all my hope and trust in these guys. We are going to take a step of faith, mobilize benevolent Ghanaians, compassionate Ghanaians, and Ghanaians really are legendary for their kindness. And that's what has brought us this far.
great. So as we speak now, you have to move on to the next one.
Yes.
Try as much as possible to see
and you see,
how far you can
you
go.
see, and I think that it's great that we did not spread ourselves so thin. Imagine if we had adopted the government's Apiati plan
Try
and
to do
decided
a lot.
to do a lot at the same time
Okay.
for a whole township, will have been found wanting, and people will still be living in the tents. So it's good we have this model where it's 300 at a time, 300 at a time. We deliver in 7 weeks, and we move to the next. So I am hoping that many more Ghanaians, particularly those who have been touched after listening to us today, will reach out to us so we can start work on the next 300. Because I told you that we didn't have enough funds to start this
So your
one.
seed capital is always faith.
Yes, it's faith.
So
yes.
the next one,
Exactly.
your seed capital,
Exactly.
is faith.
It's faith, yes.
Faith in the Ghanaian.
The Ghanaian people, not the Ghanaian government. No. Because if I had faith in the Ghanaian government, I would have been waiting for Ghanaian government to release the taxes and, come and start actual construction.
Okay.
But so it's not faith in the Ghanaian government. No. It looks like I'll be foolhardy to put any trust in these guys. So it's faith in the Ghanaian people, in the masses.
You said if you had $3 million.
Oh yes,
You'd have solved
what has been blown in the AFCON.
Because when you
in
said
Abidjan.
that, I was taken aback.
Oh,
because
yes.
this morning, one of the things we are discussing is, I know you recall Ijapa royalties,
Yes.
that when the Minerals Income Investment Fund appeared before Parliament,
Yeah.
they indicated that Ijapa royalties that we all rejected,
Yeah.
and then government was forced to backtrack.
Yeah.
That before the backtracking, they had spent $12 million
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So you need $3 million. We are throwing away $12 million. We're
Yes.
throwing away $2 million
Yeah.
on a sky train, train matter.
Yeah. $58 million on the National
On National
Cathedral pit.
Cathedral.
I just did, look, with this $3 million, I can deliver about 40 of what President Mahama commissioned, and we'll be fine. And we'll really be fine.
Wow. But I want to ask you a question first of all. I will ask you the question when this thing started.
Yeah.
Honorable, how are you yourself? Because I'm wondering the state of mind with which you've had to operate?
Yeah, it's been very difficult. It's very, very difficult and very, very traumatic. So most of the time you're away from your family, and you have to juggle a lot. Parliament is in session. You have to make sure, because you also need to use the parliamentary platform to re-echo, your concerns, and then it really takes a toll when you see fellow constituents living in this very distressful and state of destitution. So it's tough, but that's what leadership is about. Nobody said leadership will be easy. You have to rise up to the occasion, and the people are looking up to you, so you have to always be in a position to give them hope, to cheer them up, and to give them assurances that things will be fine, even though there are a number of times I've broken down in those tents. It's tough. I recall there was a group, your colleague journalist was with them. She brought them Della Russell of Daily Graphic.
Okay.
Yeah, brought them to Agbetikpo, and that day the old ladies, they were not doing well, and the states they were in those congested rooms, I just broke down. So they whisked me into the car and said that, look, I have to be strong. Men don't cry and all of that. If you talk to Della Russell,
What about
it's tough.
And when you raise that issue, health-wise, how are you? And sometimes it's difficult to ask these questions.
Yeah.
Because how do you, as a member of parliament, how are you meeting their health needs? It's not your job, really.
Yeah, but no, I know, and I'm thankful to you for the concern. But I always, say that if you compare with the people who are your employers, those who gave me the mandate to serve them, you see their conditions, I'm still far better off. So we are all going through a difficult period. It's been very, very, very hard. It's been very hard. And as I said, nobody ever is prepared for this. I have no training in disaster management.
Can you imagine?
But overnight, you have to manage such a huge disaster. You are setting up camps. You are looking for logistics, making sure everybody is getting food. You're putting together a roster so that every week you are sending relief items, food to the various camps. At the same time, you're making sure you're organizing medical outreaches. You're taking care of the health needs of the people. Those who are admitted at hospital, because every now and then people are collapsing and all of that. You are making sure that you have a system to bring them immediate, emergency care. Then you're taking care of those in schools, scholarships. You're taking care of teachers, volunteers, and at the same time you have to be mobilizing external support. At the same time, you have to also make sure there's accountability, because if you don't put the right systems in place, like it happened with the government's management of COVID, some people will take advantage and divert or profiteer from the situation. And you need to, at all times, give confidence to the donor community that what they are bringing is not being wasted. So over the last 5 months, there's been no rest. I haven't been able to travel anywhere out of the country. I suspended all travels, even though as ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, I'm normally busy traveling, all kinds of international assignments and all of that. All of that has been suspended because you can't move. I mean, if people even find you in another jurisdiction, they'll be wondering what's wrong with you. What are you doing here? When we know your constituents are in distress. So it's taking a toll.
Would the government have helped if they had declared a state of emergency? Would it have been easier for you to at least use your influence as ranking member to raise a bit more?
Yes, that would have really helped, because I've reached out to so many ambassadors who have said that if the government had declared a state of emergency, it will have triggered a lot more assistance from their government.
Okay.
Yeah, and they will have all come descended, and
So that
even
would
these
have been the
houses,
government
they will
saying, "We
even
need help."
yeah, they will even have been building some houses once.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know the Red Cross, for example, the Americans, the British, the French. There's some humanitarian situations that they've built houses for
Okay.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you don't declare state of emergency, it means that you don't even think it's a serious matter.
It's something that you can handle
that
by
you can
yourself.
handle by yourself. Yeah, yeah, and even that, there have been some international support which have come in that they haven't declared. Remember the ECOWAS documents that I put out. You know, ECOWAS approved about $800,000 for us when they applied to them to help. $800,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Before the finance minister came to read the budget, and yet he only talked about applying to the World Bank and to the Global Shield against climate change. Only those two, and left out ECOWAS. You know, so allies within ECOWAS said, "Hey, what's happening here? And we've supported you people 2 weeks ago before you came to read the budget, and nothing has been said." You know, yeah. So I'm still. That reminds me, I need to even file an urgent question on exactly where that money has gone to.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a mess.
I see. I want to ask you about, before I have to take a break, but before I do that, I want to ask you about listening to you, your reflections on the efficiency of our governance systems, our structures. Because you're also talking about the wastefulness.
Yes.
You have been in government before. Is this new to you? Or even then, when after going through this, when you look back into government, you feel that there was then you could have even been more efficient. What are your reflections, having to then personally be on the ground, be part of a building this kind of project yourself, feeding people and everything? What is the state of our government in terms of waste and all those things?
Having served in government before, to be very honest with you, Sana, I've never seen this level of wastage. Yes, I mean, it is said all over the world that governments are not as efficient as probably the private sector. Because people manage their private businesses better than they manage taxpayer-led institutions.
Okay.
Which shouldn't be the case, really. I mean, I would have thought that it should be the reverse, you know. But I recall when we served in government, and there was I think that the biggest disaster we suffered when we were in government was the Circle, you know, gas explosion, you know, the flood and petrol explosion. And I recall how immediately President Mahama went there, declared an emergency. I recall how, you know, there was a probe. I recall how people's medical bills were catered for. There was compensation. He voted huge sums. I recall. I was in Parliament at the time. And I saw, you know, how leadership was brought to bear after visiting the location immediately, you know, in June, I recall, despite the rains. He followed up to the hospitals. He followed up to people's homes, you know. I don't see that. I don't see that now. Why is nobody visiting us in the tents? Why is nobody following up? Why have there been no actual releases? No compensation has been paid. It didn't take President Mahama this long. Never did. You know, so it's incredible. Absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, you ask yourself, what have we done to deserve this? What have we done? I mean, you will expect when there's a disaster. Look, it has been said that no matter how bad the government is, when there's a disaster, at least they rise up to the occasion. And many leaders have shot to prominence, to fame by how they've managed disasters. You know, I mean, it's really shocking, really shocking that, because we've never seen this. I mean, I recall that when the cycle disaster occurred, President Mahama suspended everything. Look, don't forget even the other one, the Malcolm disaster.
Yeah.
President Mahama suspended his campaign when the Malcolm building collapsed. I recall President Mahama reached out to the Israelis because they have expertise.
Yeah.
And I remember working with Gov't, Lieutenant Colonel Gov't. We all didn't sleep till the last person was brought out from the rubble. So what has happened? What has changed? Well, when you get into government and you are MPP, you no longer have a heart. You don't have compassion. I mean, how do they feel seeing an opposition MP who doesn't receive taxes and individuals? Don't they get it that all these individuals and prominent ones coming to support the MP's safe alternative housing project? Is that not a statement? Is that not a damning verdict on leadership, on the president, on the government? It means everybody can see that these people are not your priority. You don't care about them. So everybody is coming to the opposition MP, the Chief Justice, the Speaker, chiefs, Togbe Afede and the rest, former President Mahama, Professor Nana, everybody. Because right now, if you want to help the displaced people, where do you go to? Is it the Moribund Interministerial Committee? They've never even advertised their office. They haven't even set up a fund. So it was just, look, let's tick the box. Let's create the impression we are doing something. Nobody sees them on the ground. When was the last time the Interministerial Committee went anywhere? Will you believe that African ambassadors have come together, put their donation together? I met one of them. They told me that for 2 months now, they've been looking for an appointment with the Interministerial Committee to go and present their donations.
2 months?
2 months. The African Diplomatic Corps. They were begging me that I shouldn't disclose this because they're afraid. But that is the truth. I won't lie to you, son. You can call them. Call African ambassadors in Ghana.
For 2 months, they
2
put together
months.
a donation.
Donation, relief items. They are even scared that some of the items have gotten bad. 2 months. You know I'm ranking member on the Foreign Affairs
Why
Committee.
can't they bring it to you directly? You understand that better than me.
Well, they now they have regretted because they had already sent the letter 2 months ago that they are ready. They thought that the Interministerial Committee and they wanted the donation to also, go to all the affected constituencies. And they thought that that would be easier instead of moving from one constituency to the other.
So a central point.
Now they have regretted. They are probably considering just doing what they should have done long ago, coming directly to the various constituencies. Will you believe that? 2 months. Is it because all the affected constituencies are NDC strongholds? Should we bring cheap, petty partisanship when there is a disaster, when human lives are at stake, livelihoods are at stake? What's wrong with the president, his vice president, and his team? What's wrong? 2 months. The African Diplomatic Corps can't get an appointment. Just avail yourself. Show us where. 5 minutes. Let's bring you the items. No response.
For 2 months.
2 months. Just go and run your checks.
Badly needed relief items.
Yes. People living in tents. Any wonder the ambassadors are coming directly now? You saw the US ambassador, the Turkish ambassador. You saw the Germans, the British. So our African friends, the earlier, if they don't want it to enter 3 months, the earlier they follow the example of the Western diplomats, the better.
I see.
It's tragic.
Well, my guest this morning, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto ABLAKWA, is Member of Parliament for North Tong. We have to take a break and come back. I promise I'll let you go at 9:30, but it looks like you have to stay longer. Okay. But you know we all have those days when we are low on everything. Energy, time, cash, and even airtime and data. Well, that's why MTN Extra Time is an airtime and data advanced service that allows you to make calls or browse the internet even when you have an insufficient balance. All you have to do is dial *506#. *506#. Go to the prompts and select the amount of airtime or data you need. It's more than simple. Doing your favorite things on MTN means you don't get interrupted even when you are low on airtime or data. Please remember, terms and conditions apply. And of course, MaxiNet Broadband offers fixed unlimited monthly internet packages with 24/7 customer support, ideal for businesses and homes. MaxiNet Broadband provides reliable and high-speed internet for all. You can find them at Tabora Junction. Call them on this number, 054 3906 269 for further inquiries. MaxiNet Broadband, browser non-stop. And finally, Hisense is proud to be associated with this program. They are offering you a wide range of electronic appliances, including televisions, refrigerators, air conditioners, gas cookers, washing machines, smartphones, and more. Hisense is known for its quality, durability, energy efficiency, affordability, style, and technology, with showrooms across Ghana. Further inquiry, call 030-255-0000. Visit hisense.com.gh. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people. We'll take a break. We'll come back and continue the conversation with Honorable Samuel Okudzeto ABLAKWA, who is in studio with us here on the power station, Radio Gold 90.5 FM. Don't forget, we're also live on Sekwele 104.3 in Likpe, Todume.
Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound systems, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to mention a few. Hisense is the only electronic company in Ghana that gives you 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit any of our showrooms in Accra, also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuasi, Sunyani, Techiman, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia to purchase any Hisense product at the best price. Hisense means best quality, best durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. You can always get in touch on 0302-550000 or go to www.hisense.com.gh. We're also available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Hisense Ghana. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Shese washada pa eyi achia diera wedding na fimuni nina obi atwen yakobi. Na ukodru hɔ a emanko enson ene wo satare kro no a.
We are Srupo, and no beer, no one say, and Nutina say a voice, detail, and not SMS in poor MTN just for you. I am to say, one Casa Bravo Kama, press *141#, and now Shania will pay on my MTN app on the so. Not Joe MTN just for you to say, one papa, I will Ghana Casifiba, Pessoa, or Bia Antonio.
MTN. When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have tartar or cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I go bed safe. It make my teeth white where it comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal Toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kel, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Well, thank you very much for staying tuned to Radio Gold 90.5 FM. Like I said, my guest in studio, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto ABLAKWA. Serenity Makati says, Honorable is doing so much for his people. Bless your efforts. Robert Talot is Sami Mother Ghana will remember you. Nilate. Okay, he says criminals and tyrants have no conscience. William Nyako says the president once said no one can threaten him, and it looks like the man has something under his sleeve because he does things that pleases him, and nobody has been able to challenge him. What a man. There's Alasan Issa Wumpini who says, I salute you, Honorable ABLAKWA, for your love to your people. You really know the potential of humanity. God continue to bless you. Lydia Kam, great salute, Honorable ABLAKWA. God bless you. Nafisa Freeman, a good morning to you. There's Emmanuel Boeko who is joining us. Ghanaians, for how long can we have a house of law called Parliament House where we have more laws, more law enforcement officers, more law makers, but yet our laws of the land are not working? Thinko. There's C-Con who says, one of the few MPs of the minority that I dove my heart to, Irene Fidelia Gadogbe, says, I am even crying as I hear you speak and mention figures of government wastage, and I can only imagine how you feel. More grace for you and especially your wife and the children for making it possible for you to share your time and resources and literally your life with your people. God bless you. On the other hand, if any person in your constituency vote for Yano, this one says they should be called and whipped publicly. In fact, I'm sure you meet people who are MPP and have the same difficulties that every member has. And these are people who are also part of the displaced, who you have to house and everything.
Yeah.
They are all there.
Oh, yeah, they are there. They are there. And there are some who even came to work in the project.
Okay.
Yeah. And, but I also see a lot of defections taking place.
Okay.
Yeah, quietly. A lot of the few, they just had a few MPP members, but they are so appalled about how their party has treated them. You know, that a lot of them are defecting. A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them.
You haven't, despite everything you're doing in your constituency, and even when this thing had not happened, I had been to your constituency a couple of times. I could see how the bond between you and the people, and how when you are with them, it's like you can't go.
That's true.
You have to be there for as long as they want to be with you.
Definitely.
But you're still doing what you've been doing all this while. You call it initially you were naming demon investigations.
Yes. Now it's SOA oversight. Yeah, for God and country. Yeah, it's important because you see all these things are linked. The reason why we can't see our taxes helping our displaced people, the reason why we can't see our taxes saving lives at Kolebu Renal Unit, the reason why we still have so many hospitals without incubators, the reason why women are still delivering on the bare floor, the reason why animals and human beings have to fight over water, the reason why our farmers can't get tractors, the reason why we are now importing cocoa beans, the reason why corruption is at an all-time high, that now the international community is worried about the stinking levels of corruption. It's all because of this naked thievery, these diversions, this total dissipation of the public purse. So I see my role in terms of carrying out oversight, that it is important that if you really want to at least save some resources, even if you don't bring it to your constituency to save your people, at least National Cathedral, it will have been continuing. People forget that just next month is when they have planned to.
In fact, I was going to draw attention to the fact that we are commissioning the National Cathedral.
Yes, on the 6th of March. Yes, in a few weeks from now. And I'll be there. I have a special plan for that day. I'll be there.
Why?
On the 6th of March, don't worry.
You'll commission it yourself?
Yes, I have a special plan on that day, on the 6th of March. And can you imagine if $58 million gave us this pit? At the time, that was 339 million cedis. Today, $68 million today, $58 million today is more than 800 million cedis. Imagine what 800 million. Look, there's so many ministries. You put the entire budget together, it doesn't get to 800 million.
Okay.
And if you see what countries have done with $58 million, what $58 million can do, the number of hospitals, the number of schools, the roads, the factories it can build to create jobs for our young people. Unemployment is at an all-time high according to the population housing census, 14%. And yet, it was used to dig a pit, the world's most expensive pit. Thanks to the work we did, the siphoning has stopped, because on our blind side, Ken Ofori-Atta, and that's why I say, whether promotion or special presidential advisor, the time of reckoning will come. He will be made to account. He won't get away with the atrocities he's committed. $100 million SML dubious contract. He won't get away. So, just imagine for a second, if we had not exposed these things, the double identity fraudster who was there as secretary. Now, thanks to all of what we did, you have Pastor Otabil has run away from the board. Bishop Dag Heward-Mills ran away to protect his image. Archbishop Duncan Williams has also washed his hands to protect his image. Reverend Isud Anaba. I mean, all of these eminent clergymen. And if you read Dag Heward-Mills' resignation, you read the resignation letter of Archbishop Duncan Williams and Reverend Isud Anaba, they say all they've been calling for years is an audit. Some of the things we hear, the Honorable ABLAKWA raise it for the first time. They didn't know about the U.S. operations. They didn't know that they were not part of it, that separate accounts have been created. And people were doing fundraising in their names, and they don't know what the money is being used for. They didn't know even about, they were told that it's a private initiative, and some of them put their reputation on the line. Archbishop Duncan Williams boldly proclaimed that, hey, you people stop criticizing this project. We are not using your money. It's there. Go on the internet. We remember very well. He had to preach sermons. That why are Ghanaians disturbing them when we are not using public funds? Only for Ken Ofori-Atta's secret withdrawals to embarrass him. I mean, why do you do this? You know that you don't intend to build anything for God. It's all about a conduit to launder money, siphon public funds. Leave men of God out. You and your family people go and do your thing. You bring David Ajayi, this 339 million, David Ajayi alone has taken 130 million. Another gentleman called Carrie Summers in America, who claims to be the CEO of a mighty Nehemiah group. When I arrived in Springfield, Missouri, to check him out, the chap was in some ramshackled warehouse selling coffee. Ramshackled. Unbelievable. So, see all of the things that we've been able to stop. So at least, I mean, can you imagine? I don't think even the IMF will have entertained us if all these things had continued. Can you imagine if Akufo-Addo was still allowed? If we had allowed him to keep flying his 20,000 euros an hour jet? If we had allowed David Ajayi, Carrie Summers, Reverend Kusi Boateng, Kwabena Edu-Jemfi, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the gang to be siphoning public funds in the name of building cathedral. Paid to $58 million. By the time they had come up to just cover the pit and start the ground floor, it will have been running to $200 million. Imagine the cost of the project itself kept escalating. Yeah. They started with $100 million, then they said, 150. Then they said, no, we'll need 200. We'll need 250. Before we scattered this project, it had risen to $450 million.
Yes.
And all the demolitions, I haven't added that. Those who are in court seeking compensation. And people forget that before Manasseh even discovered this SML thing, people forget that when they brought the e-levy budget, in there, even before the e-levy will see the light of day, Ken Oforiatta had created another revenue assurance, 242 million. You remember?
Yeah.
I discovered it. And we scattered it. So there are a lot of things that we have stopped, which we are not giving credit for. And that has to continue. Look, if we don't keep on with the exposés and we don't bring sunlight to what they are doing in the dark, there will be no country left. I mean, don't forget that but for the work I did at the Airport Company Limited, all the airport lands will be gone by now. So when I see Paul Adomochiri attack me every week he has a special show to attack me. I'm not. I know what I have removed from his mouth, so I'm not surprised, and I'm not perturbed either. You know, massive land loot. That's what was going to happen, and we scattered it. The kitchen scandal, Gabriel Chidako, and the West Blue group. Thanks to what we did, now he says he has gone to court. He claims he has left domestic matters, yet he is in court looking for the West Blue money. Because we've made it impossible for the secret payment behind the scenes he was looking for. You know, and what I hope to put out tomorrow morning will fascinate a lot of people. So we have to keep doing what we are doing. We have to, at least. Yes, the public purse is battered and all, but let's not allow them to carry the whole purse home. And it is linked to the neglect in our constituencies, how we are suffering, how nothing is going on, no projects and all of that. So if you are frustrated about how you can't get jobs, you can't see new hospitals, look, under President Mahama, all the things that they told us that, oh, let's take it for granted. Didn't you hear MPP propaganda say, oh, every government will build hospitals, every government will build roads, every government will do interchanges, every government will do Terminal 3. So what has happened? How come under this government we don't have a second Terminal 3? How come we don't have another UGMC? How come we don't have another bank hospital? How come we don't have another maritime hospital? How come we don't have another Rage hospital? Another Shao Sudoku hospital of that status? How come? How come? All the things they said, oh, they said we should take for granted. How come? And yet, if you look at how much money has come in, these are people who have borrowed more than 600 billion. Where is all that money? So, I can assure you, Senna, that we see this as a divine responsibility. And look, you are dealing with a very unscrupulous gang. And the word unscrupulous, I have to pay royalty to Alan Chermantin. When he left them and he announced he was forming his own movement, he used that word. And he has worked with them. He was in cabinet with them. He says they are unscrupulous. And we can see it. I mean, no values. They have no threshold. They have no limits. It's a free-for-all looting brigade. Free-for-all. Free-for-all. Now, let me be clear. These exposés are not going to stop.
Okay. You'll continue to put them out.
We will continue to put them out. And as I said, look out for the new one tomorrow morning. And we are going to make sure that we let these people know that they will not get away. And we are also putting together dossiers. And I hope that we can count on a future NDC Attorney General to make sure that people, because look, Ghanaians are not only interested in us stopping the hemorrhage and exposing people, they also want sanctions to apply. They want people to be punished. And I'm glad that President Mahama has assured that people will be punished. And he has assured that even his team, his own team members, and I was really excited about that. Because imagine how some of us will look if all the things we have exposed, we've risked our lives to put out there. We come to power and people are repeating the same things. I don't think that politics should be an avenue to loot, to destroy one's country, for self-aggrandizement, and to, as it were, rob the young people of their future, because that's what is going on. If you see what other countries have achieved, today we are celebrating Rwanda. Rwanda 30 years ago was total rubble, war-torn, everything bombed and destroyed. Aren't we ashamed that in less than 30 years, they are way ahead of us? It's now Africa's most preferred destination. See how clean the place is. Look at their infrastructure. It tells you the impact leadership can make in a few years. And let nobody deceive you. More money has come to Ghana over this 30-year period than has gone to Rwanda. See what Rwanda has achieved. So, enough of the wastage, the dissipation, the naked thievery. And all of us must rise up and stop what is going on. And we must pledge and really make a vow. And I know that we can trust the NDC. That look, we've been in power the longest. We've never seen these levels. I mean, can you imagine any NDC leader chartering 20,000 euros an hour jets? You dare not. An NDC leader who will say that he's going to demolish all of these properties in a country that has an infrastructure deficit to build a national cathedral. So
there's a lot more to talk about.
I know there's a lot to talk about, but let me conclude with another round of thanks. I just want to convey very, very deep appreciation to the Ghanaian people, you at Radio Gov't, for all the support that you have extended to us. I keep insisting and drumming home this point that if it hadn't taken the kindness, the compassion, the benevolence of Ghanaian people, my people will not be where we are. We will not have survived this. And let me also express how humble I am that all of these people had confidence in me that I can lead a recovery. Because I don't think that people have money to waste or to throw about. If they thought that I'll have used the money for another cathedral-style, project where we'll only show people a pit after many months, I don't think we'll get these monies and all this support. If people thought that it would be just, another piety kind of affair, I don't think that people will have sent their money. So I'm really humbled by the confidence that people have reposed in me. I don't take it for granted. And I'm encouraged to even be more transparent, be more accountable, and to make sure that this remains all about the victims. And everything that comes goes directly to the benefit of the victims. And we will keep doing that. We'll keep working together to make sure we assist our people to come out of this even stronger.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And, well, what is important is the help that you give him. He needs as much help as you can give. please reach out. It is not over because we are not still talking about it and showing videos of waters up to. No, doesn't mean that it is done. So, like you've heard him say this morning, it needs a lot more help to resettle the people who have been affected. Thousands still waiting to be resettled. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. God
bless.
bless.
ABLAKWA is Member of Parliament for North Tongue. Join us this morning to have a conversation on the Gold Morning Conversation. We are done for today. I'm Sana Nobu. Big thank you to Mr. Richard Oprim Kwanzaa, who was in charge of Facebook Live for today.
Thank you. Really appreciate your time. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so for us. Hit the notification, like, and also share for other members to watch as well. Let the channel go viral for us. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.